And also because people are awful, when manatees are at the surface, kayakers come over and there's a thing in Florida, only a few cases have been reported of graffiti.
Stop. What? Like spray paint?
Spray paint, carving.
No way. I have never heard that.
It's bad.
Welcome to World's Wildest.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. This week, we're sort of taking a viewer's suggestion, except we're doing the opposite of what they asked.
I saw this as a viewer suggestion as well.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay, I saw somebody ask for World's Flattest. Today we're doing World's Roundest instead. So that'll be...
Which is crazy. I would love to do World's Flattest, talk about the flat earth that we live on, but, you know.
We should give an introduction if you guys haven't seen this podcast before. Connor, you want to introduce yourself as a biologist after that?
Sure. Hi, I'm Connor. I am the Director of Operations at Wildest, also a biologist really focused on birds of prey and conservation technology.
I'm Maya. I'm the Executive Director of Wildest Sanctuary. We do conservation, education, and animal rescue in Austin, Texas. And we have this podcast to teach you guys about Earth's most extreme creatures. We've done coldest, we've done strongest, now we're doing roundest, we've done deepest in the ocean, we've done our newest, we've done our fewest. Yep. Yeah, this is our 10th episode.
Hey!
Isn't that fun? So fun and fresh. Thank you guys for being here. We also have a Patreon where there's extra content every week, and Tier 3s get bookmarks that I draw on my iPad. Connor's going to show you this month's bookmark. This is what Tier 3s are getting in the mail. We cut them all here. I drew that. It's a little frog. So cute. Audio listeners, you're missing out on this incredible artwork. So there's that on the Patreon. There's a bunch of extra content on there. We post pictures on there. We post little videos on there. So go check it out.
Good time.
Yeah. All right. Are you ready?
Yes. I'm ready to hear about your world's roundest.
Okay, World's Roundest. This is really going to be a competition. We're going to have to really evaluate. Audio listeners, you're going to have to just believe us. We have to evaluate on spherical perfection, okay?
I thought this was going to be kind of weird and hard to do, but it actually turned out really fun.
So, yeah, there's a lot of round-shaped things on Earth. Okay, my first animal for World's Roundest is the pufferfish.
Mrs. Puff?
Mrs. Puff. I didn't even think about that.
Oh, come on.
Yes. So there are 120 different species under the puffer category. They're anywhere from less than an inch long, 2.5 centimeters, to 10 feet long.
What?
Which is 3 meters. Yeah. That's crazy.
An inch?
Less than an inch to 10 feet.
That's so tiny.
So there's a pretty wide range. They're found in tropical and subtropical ocean water. So like pretty much every ocean.
Right.
And they all have the ability to rapidly expand 2 to 3 times their normal size.
Solid.
There is a difference between pufferfish and porcupine fish, though. Just to be clear, pufferfish don't have spines, but sometimes they have like little prickly bumps. Porcupine fish have modified scales that act as spines. So we're looking at a pufferfish right now. It's pretty smooth. It's spherical, but I'm gonna be honest here and say this is not a perfect sphere.
It's very round, though.
It's round. It looks like a water balloon. It's a black fish with a bunch of white dots, and he's real blown up like a balloon.
Very, very large, yeah.
Yeah, but he doesn't have any spikes. But when you think pufferfish, you probably are thinking of a porcupine pufferfish.
Yeah, same.
That is this guy. And
really spiky.
This is pretty spherical.
It's very spherical, yeah.
Very spherical. And they do have
very pretty
spines. They're modified scales that are spiny. And this is like the one that you're probably thinking of when you think pufferfish.
And are they poisonous?
Yes.
Venomous. Which one?
Poisonous.
Poisonous, okay.
Explain the difference.
Venomous, they have to inject.
Yes.
Poison is if you ingest.
Yes. I thought they were venomous. I thought those spines on a porcupine fish were like, if you touch them, they're injecting you with venom.
Yeah, okay, I thought the same thing. Yeah.
No, those spines are just scales.
They're cool.
They're poisonous. So, and they're like super poisonous.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's really bad.
There's people that will, like, chefs that specialize in cooking those, and they have to be very careful, and if they mess up, they kill everybody that eats it.
Yep. Almost all pufferfish contain tetrodotoxin, which makes them foul-tasting and lethal to other fish. It is up to 1,200 times more poisonous than cyanide.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Really poisonous.
Yeah. You don't need much then.
Guess how many pufferfish, guess how many adult humans one pufferfish can kill with the amount of poison in his little body?
12.
30.
Okay.
30.
Quite a bit.
And there's no known antidote.
So pufferfish and spiny fish.
Porcupine fish.
Porcupine fish. Thank you. They're both poisonous?
Yeah.
Both are. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
The neurotoxins are in the ovaries and the liver, and it's heat stable. So this is what you're talking about. You can't just cook it
Right.
and everything's chill. It's like not like
You
that.
gotta know what to remove, yeah.
Yeah. I read a couple cases on people that have been poisoned by consumption of pufferfish.
I bet they're dead.
Well, so, okay, in 2023, there was a 60-year-old male who ate a pufferfish and then immediately got tongue and hand numbness.
Oh.
2 hours later, he was unable to walk.
Oh.
After 5 hours, he had a hard time breathing.
Oh.
He had gait disturbance. He just, couldn't walk.
Okay.
Generalized body weakness. And then he had to stay 3 nights in the hospital. But then he got
lived.
out of the hospital. Yeah, he got out of the hospital
That's
and he
crazy.
lived.
I bet they just have to give him fluids and let the body work it out.
Yeah,
Not much
I
you
think
can
he's
do.
really lucky that he didn't consume enough of it or
Right.
something. His family also ate this pufferfish, but they didn't eat the liver and the ovaries. He did.
Oh.
And so they didn't get poisoned because that's where the poison is.
That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
He's
so
built different.
And he got out of the hospital and 2 weeks later still has dizziness,
Okay.
which is wild.
Yeah.
In February of 2024, so
Very
very recently, a man cooked and ate a pufferfish. He fell into a coma
Ooh.
for 35 days. He was in a coma and then died.
Dang.
35 days later. At 46 years old. They think there's about 50 deaths from pufferfish poisoning per year in Japan alone, which is where it's most commonly eaten.
Okay.
But that's just in Japan.
Right.
People are dying eating this. You might be wondering, what is the point?
Yeah, I was about to say, there's so many other fish.
It's a delicacy. It's very expensive. It's very special to have the opportunity to eat it because, like you said,
thrill.
Chefs have to undergo an apprenticeship for 2 years before they're licensed. And
2 years?
2 years. And they have to take a test. And a third of the applicants fail the test for licensing.
That's scary. Okay.
Yeah, you have to, there's a photo ID quiz in the test where you have to ID fish species to know
Right.
what's what. And there's a technical exam where you have to show yourself preparing it safely.
Huh.
And yeah, a third of applicants fail the test.
Jeez.
But I guess it's a thrill. And it's a cultural thing. They've been eating
Sure.
it for a really long time. But yeah, pretty insane. This is a picture of pufferfish sushi, sashimi. So it's just raw. And
Why is it black or purple? Okay, audio listeners, it's like a pale pink fish with in the center is blue to black.
there's just rice under.
In the center?
I think there's something
there
like seaweed or
seaweed?
something on top of the rice.
Oh, okay.
It looks like normal fish. It looks like normal raw fish.
It's screaming poison to me.
Oh, okay. It's not, the color of the fish is not blue. The fish is translucent, pinkish.
Okay.
Yeah. We're just looking at a piece of sushi. People are still eating it. It's still very popular. I personally, if given the opportunity, would not
Yeah, there's no point.
partake.
Yeah.
Also, I've learned that they're very, very cute.
Oh.
Baby porcupine puffer.
That's very cute.
We're looking at a picture, audio listeners, it looks like a little chunk of cookie dough with 2 big blue eyes and a
dough.
happy little mouth.
It's very Finding Nemo animated look.
It does look super animated.
Yeah.
And they're super present, too.
Right.
They'll follow your finger if there's one in a tank.
That's cool.
When they, spit out water, they shoot out water out of their tanks when they're mad. Mad is, not really probably
Irritated.
it. But, yeah,
Yeah.
they'll, shoot water out.
That's cool.
They're really cute. But,
They're
yeah,
very cute.
I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah. No reason to eat them. Just let them be cute in the ocean. It's fine.
But I'm going to give porcupine puffers, honestly, I'm going to give them a 8
8 out of 10?
out of 10 on roundness.
Okay. It's fair.
Pufferfish, I'll give a
6.
6.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm aligned with that.
that's my start.
Nice. Well, I've got a very cute round mammal called a hedgehog, and people might be familiar with this. And when I was looking this up, I'm like, oh, I know everything about hedgehogs. I used to take care of them at the animal hospital. They're fine, but they're pretty cool. There's some cool things about them, some not so cool things. because they're invasive in some areas. But I had a hedgehog named Corn Burgers, aka Hamburgers, aka Burgers, and we built him a mansion to live in because at his previous home they didn't really care about him, and they just kind of let him run all around. He disappeared for 3 months.
Oh my God.
And came back with a dead black leg just hanging off. That hair, the female's hair got wrapped around its back left leg. And
That's so sad.
we amputated it, and they're like, They were like, wanted to euthanize it first, and they're like, we'll just amputate it for free. Like, we want to take care of it. Like, nah, we don't want it anymore. And so I took it home and gave it a mansion. And
so he's a 3-legged hedgehog. Mm-hmm. How did he do with 3 legs?
Great.
Wow.
He ran, he climbed. We had dryer vents going between all these different enclosures. We went all out.
Respect. Cornburger?
Cornburger.
You said? Okay.
He was a cutie. They're nocturnal, so we ended up having to move him to the living room. And our cat was good friends with him because nocturnal at night just
Right,
crazy.
Right.
So not great pets. I don't advise getting them as a pet.
Yeah, I
get
also
into that
think
later.
they're a little overrated as pets.
Yeah, they're not that
not
nice.
to insult Cornburger, but yeah, they're nocturnal. They don't want to like hang out with you, and then they get nervous and they're not like pleasant to hold when they're spiky.
No, and you have to spend a lot of time with them. And if you leave them for like a week, depending on which one you get, they'll just like completely forget about you, and you have to start all over again. So
No.
not great pets, and I'll get into that a little bit later because they're invasive. But I brought out a tape measure to show size comparisons, and the max size a hedgehog can get is 12 inches.
What?
Pretty big. Yep. Because there are 17 to 18 species of them, so they can get pretty large. So the ones you're used to seeing are like 5 inches, like the one pictured currently. That's a pet one. There are like a lot of wild ones as well that get much larger.
Wow.
So that's also 30 centimeters is the max size. So they're 14 to 39 ounces or 400 to 1,100 grams. They are very round. This is like the peak roundness of a hedgehog. Also, Maya, could you describe to the audio listeners what a hedgehog looks like in case they don't know? And it's not Sonic and all blue.
It looks nothing like Sonic. I don't know where they got that. A hedgehog. It kind of looks like a shrew, like a little rodent, but it's just covered in spikes.
Tiny spikes.
And the picture we were just looking at, where it's curled up and super round, it looks like a sea urchin. Like it's just covered in spikes and
nice tan color, tan brown. Yeah. So
I give it a 7.
Okay.
In its roundest form.
Right. Respect. So there's 17 to 18 species of these, depending on who you ask. Do you know what a group of hedgehogs is called?
Give me the first letter.
A.
No.
Array.
What?
An array.
An array of hedgehogs? Okay.
Yep. Kind of cool. So their habitats are grasslands, woodlands, forests, meadows, savannas in Central Europe, Africa, and Asia. They are great swimmers, surprisingly.
Why?
Climbers.
They should not be able to swim.
Runners.
They're not shaped like they should swim.
This makes them... they do great swimming.
It's really cute.
Picture of it swimming right now, just floating, doing well. This makes them a problem when they become an invasive species.
Oh my gosh, they're unstoppable.
Pretty much. And they're stealthy. So I said they're primarily nocturnal. So they're able to, hunt at night too, which is crazy for them, for how small they are. So they've been known to cover up to 2 miles in a night.
Okay.
For a very tiny animal. So
small little legs moving very fast.
Top speed 6 miles per hour or 10 kilometers per hour.
Really? 6 miles an hour?
Like a jog, like us jogging.
That's incredible.
It's fast for a little guy.
Oh my gosh.
Cornburgers was always zipping around.
It's near robotic. I can't even imagine a hedgehog moving that fast.
And then for 2 miles consistently, it's a lot.
Wow.
It's a lot of energy. So their lifespan in the wild...
You know what that sounds like when little animals move their legs really, really fast?
Yeah, very cute.
That's what that sounds like.
Lifespan is 2 to 7 years in the wild, 11 in human care. The oldest known wild hedgehog was 16 years old. They eat a lot of insects, grasses, berries, That's
I
good.
thought they were insectivores.
Yeah.
And now we're looking at a picture of one eating a freaking frog,
So-
and I thought they only ate insects, like only.
Yeah, I thought so too. And this what kind of made them a little bit more interesting. I was like, why are they illegal in a lot of states too, in the United States?
Right.
Because they have been known to eat small snakes, lizards, amphibians, eggs, and birds.
Oh my god.
So 12 inches can take down like they have to be that big to take down bigger birds. So interestingly enough, they are lactose intolerant.
Okay.
There are declining natural species in the UK. So people used to put out, like they used to put out milk for cats. They would put out milk for hedgehogs to help their population, and they would be lactose intolerant. So now the UK animal people are like, give them wet cat food instead. So, yep.
Okay.
So yeah, their defensive mechanisms was just like an armadillo, just like a I'm blanking on the world's penguin. There we go. Just like a penguin. They curl up into a ball, and it's pretty effective to keep away most predators. We're looking at a red fox right now taking away a hedgehog, which we're not sure if it survived or not, but it'd be very hard for that fox to eat.
Just like really uncomfortable. It's so spiky. Can you imagine like biting down on something like that and it's just like all in the roof of your mouth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not good. So they have 5,000 to 7,000 quills.
Okay.
It's a lot of quills. So their main predators are owls, ferrets, foxes, wolves, mongooses, and badgers.
Yeah.
Their conservation status is least concerned, but they're considered. There's a lot going on with hedgehogs because they're an invasive species, but they're also an exploited species.
For the pet trade?
For the pet trade, but a lot of traditional medicine as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And a lot of traditional European and African dishes, North African dishes.
What?
Yes, I'll get to that in a second. Hold on. So,
Like the meat?
yeah. There's also potato chips they make out of them. Anyway, I'll get to that in a second. So, right now, let's talk about the invasive issue with them. In New Zealand, they were introduced, and they're just going through wrecking. They're like they're like up there with rats and cats, feral cats that are just destroying the populations in New Zealand. And then they've made their way over to islands on Scotland and just wrecking the native populations.
They swam there?
Could be. Yeah.
Probably not. They probably got there on like boats.
More likely boats.
Transportation. Yeah.
Or someone's pet.
Sure.
The pet thing is more likely.
Yeah.
So there's no natural predators in these areas, and they got spikes everywhere, so they're hard to take down. So, and then there also were a food source. So the exploited side of things is they were a food source for ancient Egypt and the late Middle Ages.
Okay.
There's lots of like recipes and mentions
Really?
of hedgehogs being used for food for there.
Interesting.
In more recent times, for traditional medicine, their meat's used to treat rheumatic disease and arthritis. And obviously, it doesn't do anything for those diseases, but they are being heavily regulated across the United States and a lot of other countries because of if they were to get loose and they were to populate, they could destroy the local ecosystem. So I know there's a lot of states that ban these guys and are afraid of these guys destroying reptile and bird habitats and or populations. So don't get them as pets. They're not great pets. They're nocturnal anyway. They don't like snuggling. Yeah, just don't. Get a dog or cat.
Explain the potato chip thing.
Oh. Yeah, it's just some company in Eastern Europe was like, make hedgehog potato chips.
Like they're just flavored? Like the meat of a hedgehog?
Yeah.
But it's a potato chip?
Yeah, they flavored it with actual pieces, like ground down meat and stuff like that. And yeah.
Gross.
Sorry, I was leaving you hanging for that whole time about.
Did you read anything about
chips.
anointing?
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 Is that like their mating thing?
No, it's my favorite hedgehog fact. To make them less appealing to predators, they will chew on really yucky stuff. Like they'll find feces or cigarette butts or like gross smelling things. They'll chew on it and make their saliva just smell disgusting. And then they'll take their little hands and they'll spread it all over their bodies.
I know they'll use poison plants to do that too.
Yeah, so then they're spiky little smelly, stinky, poisonous balls of spikes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cornburger's like taking baths, and he never smelled bad.
Oh, well. Thank you for saving his reputation.
He didn't like it, but he smelled
that.
better.
Yeah, I have told people that for a while. People want hedgehogs as pets because they are super, super cute, but I agree. I don't think that they make good pets at all.
Yeah.
Okay. 6. I give it 6 out of 10.
Please give it a 7 out of 10.
I'm pretty sure did I say 7?
I thought so.
Okay, whatever.
It's got to be
give it a
better
7.
than the puffer fish.
Okay, 7 out of 10.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. My next one, very round.
Round. Okay.
Sea urchin. I actually just said this.
Okay.
Because hedgehogs kind of look like a sea urchin when they're curled up. Sea urchins are marine invertebrates that live on the sea floor. You guys are probably familiar. Look at this sphere. It's a purple sea urchin. It's pretty close.
It's that might be the most perfect one in nature.
Rate it.
9 out of 10.
Oh my gosh. Okay, 9 out of 10. They're found in all of Earth's oceans. Some live at the seashore, so like very shallow waters. And then the deepest recorded one was at 24,000 feet, which is
that's crazy.
7.3K meters down.
It's like halfway of the deepest, right? Almost.
Oh gosh,
I can't remember that number, but yeah,
that's
that's
a while
crazy.
ago we did world's deepest, but yeah, super. So they're just like all over the ocean. The first sea urchins appeared around 450 million years ago. So they're prehistoric, but the current species that are still in our oceans first appeared about 268 million years ago, which
Still
is
a long time.
not impressive.
What?
I'm kidding. It's,
Okay.
it's insane. There are over 1,000 species of sea urchin. Here's a picture of just some of the diversity of sea urchins. This is only in Malaysia. Or these are some species, but there's 1,000 species. So they come in all different sizes, shapes, colors.
They're very pretty, very spiky. I wouldn't want to touch one.
This is fitting. We're filming this on July 4th, and it just looks like a bunch of fireworks. Did you say you want to touch one?
No. I said I don't want to touch
one.
one.
Okay. Valid. They come in like black and purple and red and pink and yellow. And they're just really, really beautiful. Spiky guys.
Yeah.
All very spherical with lots of spikes.
Yeah.
This is interesting. The sea urchins have 5 symmetrical parts arranged around a central point to hold them together. They're made of calcium carbonate. And I was like, wait a second, 5 central points with a center point. And I was like, what about a sand dollar?
Yeah.
Because everybody knows what a sand dollar is. You guys have found them on the beach.
Yeah.
Sand dollars are sea urchins. They're just flat versions of sea urchins with very small spikes, and they burrow themselves. This is a sand dollar alive.
Cool.
Audio listeners, sand dollar, what you find on the beach, little white thing with the star in the middle. This is it with a bunch of little spikes.
And fuzzy looking.
Yeah, it's like if it was covered in fuzz. And this is an alive version. The ones that we find on the beach are not covered in any spikes. It is just like a rock.
It's like their skeleton, right?
Yeah, they're dead.
Yeah.
It's a dead sea urchin. It's a dead sand dollar.
Yeah.
So fun fact of the day for you. I think people forget that that's a living. I don't know what I thought when I was a kid. I think I just thought it was a fossil or like a cool rock or something. But yeah, these were alive. Before.
Yeah, I guess I never really thought of what they looked like alive.
Yeah, that's so cool. Weird. They eat algae, sea cucumbers, mussels, sponges. Okay.
Interesting. They're not filter feeders?
No. They pursue and they eat.
Pursue?
I mean, they'll eat algae, sea cucumbers, mussels, sponges. So yeah, they have to do some like pursuing.
That's crazy. Okay.
To eat those things. So I had so many questions when I was researching sea urchins, and the rest of my research is structured out in like, how do they live? Because literally a sea urchin is just a ball of calcium carbonate with like spikes on it.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah,
like that's what you guys know what a sea urchin looks like. That's what they are. So Connor, how do they move? How do they pursue?
I don't know. They use their little spikes and they twirl.
Yeah, kind of.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought they just go with the currents.
They can propel themselves with spines, which some of them have spines. They cannot swim, but they have tube feet, like tubular feet. That have suckers on them, and they use
tuby feet.
They use hydraulic pressure of water that moves in and out of those feet of the tubes to move slowly.
They're high tech.
Yeah. So like, how do they move? Answered. How do they eat?
Nom nom nom.
Okay, be more specific.
They probably that hole that you were talking about.
The hole, yeah.
Yeah, in the center of all the 5 parts, they smush it onto the unsuspecting coral or sponge.
Yeah.
And they nom on it, and they probably have some crazy enzymes that they put on there to help break it down. and it's terrifying.
I didn't read about enzymes, but that does make sense. They have a mouth on the underside of their bodies, and it looks like this. Connor, you want to explain that to audio listeners?
It reminds me of the terrifying like octopus beaks, if you're familiar with that. So it's just a hole with a bunch of spikes around it, and then there's like these like tiny white teeth that look like they clamp together, like the thing of Nightmare, but really cool. And nightmares, but cool.
It's a little. I don't think I've seen Stranger Things, but those.
It
things,
is Stranger Things, yeah.
It's a little Stranger Things. Like
you need to watch Stranger Things.
Oh. Okay, so that's how they eat. How do they poop?
Probably the same
You have
hole.
to eat. You have to poop.
Yeah, probably same hole. Spit it out.
No, they have an anus at the top of their body.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So they crawl around, and then they bring it into their little mouth on their underside, and then they poop up.
Nice. Solid.
Okay. How do they reproduce? It's just a spiky ball.
In the poop hole?
How do they do all these things? What does that mean?
You have the male and the female. The male goes with his terrifying beak and goes on top of the poop hole. And spits in the poop hole.
You think there's insertion?
I don't know.
They're very like spiky.
I'm sure they could like work around the spikes and like move them for each other.
No, so the females release eggs into the water, and then the males release sperm. So it's, that happens a lot in the ocean.
But then they're just guessing.
Yes.
Sad for those eggs and sperm that don't get to unite.
Yeah, but most sea urchins release millions of eggs at a time.
Oh, I'm not sad now.
Of eggs at a time. And then the males release sperm into the water, and they find each other and fertilize in the water.
That's crazy.
Yeah. How do they breathe?
Through their skin?
Through their feet.
Oh.
There's gas exchange through their tube feet.
The tubey feet makes sense. Okay.
How do they see? If they're pursuing prey, how do they know where to go?
I don't know.
Through their feet.
What? They don't have eyes in their feet or
They
photoreceptors?
don't have eyes. They have light-sensitive cells. They have photoreceptors in their feet.
But then that normally just takes them towards the light, no? How do they see the sponge?
I don't know exactly what it looks like. Researchers have tested their vision and found they can see with their feet. You can think of each sea urchin as like one giant compound eye. It's just a bunch, all of those spines, all those feet, photoreceptors, eyes.
Interesting. That's crazy.
Do they have brains? They can see, they can walk, they pursue prey. No, they don't.
Yeah.
They don't have brains, they don't have a central nervous system.
Because that would put them in a different category for like classifications.
Yeah. And then you said you wouldn't want to touch one. Why?
Because they're venomous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are venomous. They're venomous.
Spiky death.
This is venomous because some tropical species have venom in the spines. So if you grabbed one or stepped on one, ow.
They can pierce through a lot.
They can inject venom via puncture wounds.
People die. Divers. No?
There's only been one reported human death from sea urchins.
Oh.
But it's like, I assume can be like excruciating pain. I've never stepped on a sea urchin.
Don't want to find out either.
Sounds awful. And then you have to like pull the spines out and stuff.
Yeah.
It just sounds really
Otters
really
eat
awful.
sea urchins, right?
They do.
They're crazy.
Yeah, otters are very impressive. There are a lot of species of sea urchin. I didn't get there's 1,000 species of sea urchin at least. It does seem like a lot of them are at risk because of climate change and overharvesting.
Oh, sad. Harvesting?
Yeah, people eat sea urchin.
What?
What?
Why would you eat sea urchin?
You didn't know that? You haven't seen sea urchin?
No.
I didn't even include that because I thought, maybe it's because I'm Japanese. I thought everybody knew this.
What do you...
Producer,
how do you
could
eat
you
it?
find a picture? I'm so sorry. This is last minute. I should have put one in. Like on sushi, people eat it raw. People like go to the ocean, grab a sea urchin, crack it open, and scoop it out with a spoon.
All those it's just organs in there.
It's like little pieces of meat, like little orange piece. Am I crazy? Is this like a lesser known? I thought everybody knew about this. Okay, we're grabbing a picture for you, and then people put it on sushi. So they're just like they put it on top of rice. Those little orange bits. People eat those.
Oh. Have you had it before?
No, my dad eats it.
Oh. Huh. It's not very much. Like meat and stuff.
No, it's expensive.
Oh.
But yeah, overharvesting people. It's
Sad.
yeah. Because I talked about two ocean guys today, I want to do a shout out for the Marine Stewardship Council. If you guys are consuming animal protein, including seafood, MSC is a global nonprofit that works to end overfishing around the world and help people switch to sustainable seafood. They have a food label, which is super handy. I've seen it in restaurants, on menus. I've seen it in grocery stores, on canned fish products. And the label just means that the product was made with wild-caught seafood that meets their standards, so it comes from sustainable, healthy, wild stock.
Love that.
That it was fished in a way that minimizes environmental impact. Currently, this label, this is what to look for if you're wanting to consume seafood more sustainably. This is the most up-to-date understanding of internationally accepted fisheries science and management. So look for it in stores, look for it in restaurants, audio listeners. It is a blue label. It's called MSC. And it has a little fishy on it
with like a check mark as part of the fish.
Yep. If I consume seafood, which is not all that often, but if I do, I always look for this label.
That's awesome.
Yeah, kind of fun and fresh. That was all.
9 out of 10 though. Roundness.
Okay, I'll take it.
It's great.
I'm winning so far.
Yep. You're gonna win because what I have, I give a 6 out of 10 for roundness. They're round, but they're more oval round. So
wait, can you give me some like clues that I'll guess what it is? It's an oval.
It is.
Is it a mammal? A cow?
Kinda. That was a good move, wasn't it?
A cowbird?
No.
A cowfish?
No. So in World of Warcraft, you have health, and you have this blue stuff. Starts with an M.
Mana?
Yeah. And then if I put green hot beverage in here.
Manatee.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stupid.
So stupid. You did great. Okay. You got there.
All right.
Manatee.
Okay.
The cow of the sea.
Oh, sea cow.
Yeah. They're called sea cows. So they're gray.
This is a good one for Roundest. They are very round.
They're very round.
Yeah.
They're often covered in algae. And I mean, what would you rate this roundness?
Like a 5, because I was thinking like spherical.
Right.
Which yes, they're they're like ovals.
Yeah. They're still very
They're
round.
as close to a tardigrade in giant form as that I can think of.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
So the size is about 3 Mayas. It's like the max size. So
They're 300 pounds?
No. Like sorry. Height. Like
okay.
Wide.
They're 15 feet long?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
So 4.6 meters.
Wow.
So they weigh 39 Mayas.
Okay.
So 3,900 pounds.
Oh my God. That's so much.
Yeah.
That's like 3 horses.
The largest cow was like 4,300 pounds. So they're like bigger than most cows.
Okay.
Definitely bigger than Winnie.
Okay.
So very large. So that's 1,775 kilograms. So they love shallow coastal regions that are rivers and generally in the tropics. We have a map of the locations of where they are all around the world. Africa, Amazon basin, Mexico, the Caribbean, eastern, southern U.S. coast. So people know them a lot in the U.S. For being in Florida. And they're really good at going in saltwater and freshwater because their kidneys are really efficient about filtering out all that salt water. They have a lifespan. Guess how long they live?
15 years.
65.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Very long time. So they're called the cows of the sea because they eat a lot of seagrass, fresh or saltwater plants and algae. Their diet consists of 60 different types of plants and algae. Please describe this buffet that is happening on screen.
There's 3 manatees and they're eating some grass and it looks like cows if you removed like all of their body parts and added fins.
Yep. They're very cute. So they eat 10 to 15% of their body weight each day.
Okay, that's nuts.
Do you think they're ruminants?
No.
You're right. They're not ruminants. Like, they're not cows. So they don't have a ruminant with bacteria in it to help break it down. They have a hind gut digestion.
It's so much poop.
Yeah.
They poop so much.
Mm-hmm. And instead of a 4-gut digestion like a cow, it takes 7 days for the material to pass through the digestive tract. 7 days, which is
Seems really inconvenient.
yep, absolutely crazy. So their predators are they're like they don't really have predators. Their main ones is like when they're really young, crocodiles or alligators will go after the young. But other than that, it's boats and people.
Right.
So
Man, the boat thing is so sad.
it's tough, and I'll get to that in just a second. So they have a top speed of 15 miles per hour, which is faster than you would think. They're pretty slow, or 24 kilometers per hour. There's 3 species only, and the conservation status is vulnerable. So the things that are really kicking its butt is boat strikes, low genetic diversity, and eating of plastic. I didn't really think about the plastic thing.
That sucks, man.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
So you'll see as a boater these signs that are like manatee crossing, and the reason is when boats are going by fast, the manatee can't see the boat from far off, and they're slow, so they try to get out of the way of the boats, but they often don't get out of the way fast enough,
Yeah.
and they get hit with the propeller.
They also hang out like at the top of the water. Like they're so buoyant. They're just like chilling, like floating, bobbing at the top.
They're mammals, so they
boats,
have to
yeah, boats are just gonna like
wreck
a
'em.
speed bump them, honestly.
So we're looking at a picture of very symmetrical strikes, like boat or propeller strikes on the back of a manatee. It's really sad. And also because people are awful, when manatees are at the surface, kayakers come over, and there's a thing in Florida, only a few cases have been reported of graffiti.
Stop. What? Like spray paint?
Spray paint, carving.
No way. I have never heard that.
It's bad. I mean, there's not a ton of cases of this. Like I know of like 3, but still, people just are awful.
Oh my God.
So what you can do to reduce, if you're in a manatee area, reduce your speed, because they're wanting to get out of the way. They're just slow. And if you slow your speed down, they'll be able to move. But look for the footprint is what it's called, air quotes on footprint. It just looks like a completely different water pattern of the tail. So it's really hard to describe. But once you see it, you'll be like, oh, that makes sense. That's a manatee, because it's a huge like disturbance in water. That's quite different. So yeah, they'll get out of the way. So manatees are the ocean's largest herbivores. They are slow moving, and they spend 50% of their time submerged asleep. They surface every 3 to 5 minutes to breathe, but can hold their breath up to 20 minutes.
Same.
And their lungs are really interesting. They're like elongated along most of their back, so they can help be a little bit more buoyant. And what's crazy about their buoyancy, and this is for real, I verified this with a journal. They use farts to help them float.
How would that help?
So when they want to float, they hold in their farts. And
Oh,
when they want to sink, they let their farts out.
that makes sense.
Yep. Epic picture.
Where did you get this picture? Did you make that?
Maybe.
Audio listeners, it's a very low res picture of a manatee and just horrific font that says epic manatee fart.
It's really hard to get manatee farts on the picture.
Yeah, I can imagine. Thank you for that.
So have you heard the mermaid legends, right? And
Yeah.
Yeah. So they think, or scientists think, that mermaid legends came from manatees when people were coming over.
That makes
to the
sense.
Caribbean, because they're huge.
Right.
They'll come up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so my last question: where did manatees come from? Like, who do they descend from?
Whales.
No, another guess.
Dolphins.
No. One more.
Cows.
No. You would think I would think like cows. Weirdly, they either come from elephants or a hyrax, which is a small gopher-sized
A
mammal.
hyrax?
Yeah.
That makes 0 sense.
Technically, it says elephants and hyrax. So they were like millions of years ago. These species would like wade out into the waters, and they eventually got really good at wading in the water to where
I can't think about
got
evolution for
fins.
too long. It makes me feel crazy.
Yeah,
That's so bizarre. Another fun manatee fact, they nurse out of their armpit.
I did not know that.
Yeah, their
That's cool.
mammary glands are like right behind their fin that they use to swim
crazy.
with. So their babies like latch onto their armpit.
There's
Quiz time.
quiz time. Sorry, audio listeners.
Okay, speaking about feeding their young, how do duck-billed platypus feed their young?
Through milk that comes out of their skin.
That is correct. They sweat it out.
Ew.
They don't have nipples. Instead, they concentrate milk to their belly and feed their youngs by sweating it.
Gross.
That's kind of cool.
Fun fact of the day.
Yeah. Nice. Well, that's all I had for manatees.
Excellent. I have some honorable mentions for
Nice.
today for World's Roundest that I would like for us to rate together.
Okay.
That I didn't do research on, but I still think are very round.
Let's do it.
And I think that that's important. Number 1, Pomeranian.
Oh, that is some roundness.
Right? He's sitting on the ground, but he's looking straight up, so he just looks like almost a perfect circle. Incredible.
Yeah. 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. Number 2,
Ooh,
Desert Rain Frog.
that's crazy looking. He has no jaw.
Yeah, he's got no jawline. He's got no neck. He does have legs, but his body is giving balloon.
Audio listeners, crazy, very round, but not the roundest. So like 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Next, 3-banded armadillo.
Oh, yeah. They're cool.
That's pretty round.
That's pretty round. They get a bump because they carry leprosy. So I give them 8.5 out of 10.
Great, love that. Yeah, they can fully fold into a ball, like
Yeah.
fully. We got the last zoo I worked at. We rescued one that was smuggled into the U.S. in a bowling ball bag.
Why would
Like,
they try
as a
to
bowling ball.
smuggle them? You can just go pick one off the side of the road. Don't do that, but like they're everywhere.
No, these are not. We have 9-banded armadillos.
Oh.
This is a 3-banded armadillo. They don't live here.
Oh, okay.
Next, last but not least, the humble roly-poly.
A Marty?
A marty, an isopod. There are over 10,000 species of isopods. This is just a roly-poly. Roly-polies, as you guys know, can curl up into a ball. And this is real close to a 10 out of 10.
No, that is a 10 out of 10.
Or a 10 out of 10.
When you think of the world's roundest, you think of a roly-poly.
Spherical. Roly-poly. 10 out of
Perfect.
10. Thank
Yep.
you guys for your suggestions for these episodes. They've been very fun.
I like
I
it.
think we were worried at the beginning of like, we're going to run out of
We're never going to run out now.
S to talk about. But your ideas have been very helpful. Thank you. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. Leave us a review. Check out our Patreon.
Get a bookmark.
Get a bookmark on our Patreon.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. See you on the next one.
Bye.